Alrighty guys, I'm just gonna tell you, right now I am not feeling the greatest, but I will tell you we have some updates for you guys, and the big updates, as you know, we're in, and you see I have 39 mods. Now, of course, as you guys can know, give me a second here. Give me quite a second to do a thing, because I don't want you guys to see. To see what I'm doing. Okay, alright, so, for those of you, GMC community has now officially, has officially released the community has officially released, for, 1.58, so if you are here, looking at wanting to get into 1.58, and you're just waiting for these to be uploaded, updated, and stuff, they have now been fully updated. I will not be updating to Euro Truck Simulator 2, though, for 1.58 just yet, and there's a big reason. As you know, we do not have ProMods, we do not have, a lot of these things. So, but it's there, and you guys can go through that and change it up. But we are now utilizing the free maps, for American Truck Simulator 2, and for American Truck Simulator, not American Truck Simulator 2. There is no such thing as American Truck Simulator 2. As you guys know, I do not utilize the small or the tutorial hints be gone. I do not have those enabled. But I do have, thinking I could run with coast to coast. I still am not quite for sure, but I just have it disabled. I will test it. Test it later. And then I run with all of these. The more city stuff, and then I run with ProMods Canada, and I do not run with those. So basically, we are running with 19 mods, normally, but when we do get the Beyond available, we will be adding Beyond back into our game for this. So this is the load order that you would normally put things in. The truck map fix is here as well. There is only, if you are running with the convoy, do not run with More Cities, Texas. Not compatible. There are probably going to be some mods not in. I never really check the, I just usually just stick to following this setup. Now, of course, I am going to export this file. Okay. Um, so that you guys can kind of see. Um, okay. What? Um. Okay, so it should be connected. Maybe. Let me check YouTube. That one was That one was a 450 yesterday. Okay. I don't know. Um. So anyway, I'm exporting it so that I can kind of save it for later. Now of course, I do always wanting to let you guys know that and also the mods that I am currently am utilizing um Brittle graphics and weather. Um, I'm gonna probably remove that. Um, because what I wanted to do is just to show you guys that you should um follow that. But to be honest, um, I got rid of Brighter Nights because that was not working. Um, so I ended up re-evaluating and putting you back into place. I used to use real traffic density. I do not use that anymore because of issues with for so I basically I was going to not I'm not going to change anything that we are currently utilizing. Um Now I will tell you I am not feeling the greatest today, so don't expect me to be perfect on anything. Um so anyway, um Anyway, um, okay. Let's get ourselves going. We got a lot of things to talk about today. A lot. More than I would like to say. Um, more than anything. Um, Now, of course, for any of you, um, we're going to go with the freight market to the external cargo market. Right now, I was running around. Actually, I was running around with this truck specifically. Well, guys, we are going to maybe keep this truck for things. For things. We're going to go to company. We're going to try a different truck out. Specifically, this one is not being used by anybody. No trailer available. We are going to drive it. Okay? We're gonna drive this trailer. This truck. We're gonna change that. Now, of course, if we're gonna be driving this, um, we need to go to the Steam Workshop. Okay. Um, we need to go mirrors. Okay. Okay. Um, Hopefully I'm spelling mirrors right. Um, and then what we need to do is we are on a Freightliner. Mirror. I'm gonna do mirror and then make sure it stays that. Um, we'll do the mirror camera mod. For instead of we'll use the camera mirror instead because I don't like um for it. Now, of course, I am going to have to go over to to catalog. Let me check. Because I know we're using the Cascadia Freightliner 2019. Like, that's the only thing. So we're gonna have to go with the title screen and check. Hopefully, this mod, this new camera mod, let me double check. Okay, so it's got the Freightliner Cascadia 2019. It does not support, it does International Lone Star as well if we wanted to. Okay, so no, we're not gonna do that. No, I wanna unsubscribe from it because the mirror, is what I want to do. Freightliner, and then okay, what does this fix? Nope, that's not what I need. Yeah, nope, can't. So the Cascadia one does not have the mirrors that I need. We'll subscribe to that maybe. For it. So what I'm gonna actually I'm just gonna subscribe to the one that we just installed. And this one is gonna go below the graphics, to be honest. I don't know, on anything, but we are gonna try checking up a couple of things, making sure that we can get the mirror. Now, because I didn't pull back on the truck like I usually do. So we can click drive first before we ever pick back. Service, vehicle adjustments, adjust seat position. And, that's what that does. So that right there is still going to allow for me to see for C, but I want to also go to catalog. And go find the Freightliner Cascadia, this one. And then basically okay. So that's all it does, is just paints it. So that's not gonna be what I need, but I think I might actually. So yeah, no, I don't think I really want to use it anyways. Anyways, because I always like the chrome stuff as much as I can. But let's go to our services. Go to trailer purchase. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my configurations, and we have two configurations. I'm gonna select this one, okay? But the only difference is we're going to add a yeah, I don't know what's going on with the chat bot right now. And then what we're going to do is Medford. Medford's gonna get that. Not for me. It's not gonna be for me just yet. Because we need to go to company. We need to go to truck manager. Medford's gonna get it. I am driving actually that truck in Seattle right now. So we're actually in Seattle instead of actually being down in the place to where this one is stored. To basically where this one is stored. This one's stored in Medford. So we're gonna tax and drive this truck. Okay. But I am going to switch where I want to be stored. Like I can change to Truck Explorer. No, to go to company, go to driver manager, and then go to myself. And I can put myself nation. No, because that'd be me hiring a driver. No. We're still here up in Seattle. Actually, I think it could be garage manager. Okay. Ah, yes, my thing. Because I want to relocate. I can relocate anywhere I feel like. Because now we're gonna start going to look at some of these extra changes. Hold on guys, I'm resetting my bot here real quick. Okay. That's all I'm doing is just resetting the bot. integrate. Actions. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, we're gonna go um up here um and I always, like I said, I'll always carry um I'm only driving a couple of things. I'm only driving this truck just to kind of see how this truck kind of feels, and I don't have to see the whole thing. So this will work out. Um, but I did want to add some extra tiles. Like, I don't know why. Um, like, I want to work on getting a dedicated wheel set up for a game like this. Um, like, and get like a kind of like work on getting a triple monitor setup or something. Um, or at least even maybe even just trying to get a wider monitor, but I don't think I really need to. But you know what? I'm not gonna get a ding for me being there, but I am gonna see. Some truck configurations that we're going to be doing. We're gonna upgrade to that. And we'll upgrade to the Eston thing, because that's just gonna help us on a lot of things. Then what we'll do is then we'll add that. Just the standard set of lights. Like, to be honest, the standard sun shield does not really change anything. So we'll just leave it like that. Okay. What's the difference? I'm gonna go stick with that. Okay. Arrow X. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to disable all except for that. You know what? I don't mind having a little bit of chrome. That adds painted there. And if we do I don't know, I've never really used these, so I'm gonna look at that from in the cab. Doesn't really change much of anything for our truck, and I never really use them, so I'm just gonna remove it because that's just basically mostly going to see what's further from behind. But it's like I don't know if that would what that will entail for us, but that's just flags. Now, of course, this one here Um, we have the flow arrow painted, or the arrow X. I'm just gonna stick with that one. Slightly cheaper. Okay. Um, so now our truck looks more proficiently, looks a lot better. For it. I have one trailer up here. I will probably get another trailer once we get the, for it. But let's go look at our external jobs. Um, here, we're going to start looking for, that one's going to that's going to Oregon. Let's go to Newport. Okay, so this one has more money for this one, and it's the same distance traveled. That's going to Aberdeen. I'm not going to go to Idaho right now. The only one that's the highest rated right now is this Pocatello, Idaho. But this one's a lot cheaper, and that one's also a more, the miles per thing, that's going down there to do that. I don't want to stay. I want to maybe do, let's take the, let's take this one, this Newport, because the Newport one is 21, that one's going to Ontario actually. That one's 7 hours, that one's 5 hours. 5-hour trip time compared to a 7-hour trip time doesn't matter to me too much, but I think I'm just going to take the normal 5-hour trip time because we did spend a lot of time editing and getting things set up for this, to be honest. So, anyway, now for a lot of you, are probably wondering why am I, adding the Freightliner into the mix? Is because I think it's just time for us to switch and change our truck driving, availability. And I probably should have changed the title, the thing from yesterday, but to be honest, I really am not picky about where I go and what I end up doing. But I am gonna tell you guys, like, we're not gonna stick for too long today, though. And I'm probably going to be getting off when tonight when Scarlet gets off because I'm not feeling the greatest. So I'm going to try to get some rest at least. But like I said, I've normally been going with the International because I really like International. The Lone Star and the International trucks, the way that they have their grills set up. But but this is kind of one of those things where, um, you know, I sometimes forget to share out the stream. I need to maybe see if I can come up with a thing, um, that allows for me to basically make a post, using StreamerBot that when I click on start streaming, um, that way then I can, okay, so I'm going to click on start streaming, then it will basically send out, um, send out the course, send out the link, basically have it like respond with like if I if just allows me to send out the link so that you guys can kind of watch the content, um and things like that, because I don't want to like um remove all the content and forget to post, but automation, automating things and just basically have it post out the title to things. But you know what? It's fine. I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm not gonna care um, right now because was not feeling the greatest, and so I just wasn't even thinking about live streaming, to be honest. Um, uh, Today, and that's why I'm so much late. Um, but I will tell you, we'll be getting soon back into Euro Truck at some point. Um, One of the better between the two. I like Euro Truck better than American Truck because I like their trucks a lot better. I'm not a big rig kind of person, in the sense of nosed rigs that I think we just need the like like a flat nose. Like, yeah, we drive like we long hauls in America. We do a lot of long hauling, but it's um hauling, but I will be honest, like I don't like um hauling in big rigs. Like I like the flat nose stuff that Eurotruck has, and I've pretty much basically am more akin to um that kind of feeling of making a truck and doing things like that. I'm in driving in Europe than I do in America. Like I can stand America, trust me, I can, but I also prefer the trucks of Europe, and maybe if we could maybe, like, they could do like a fictitious thing where we can have, like, you still have these here in America, but you can have the other trucks available in Europe, in America, from Europe. And I don't know, there might be a mod out there that does this, but it's like, I don't want that. I don't want a mod to do it. I want it to actually feel more genuine. Like, I'm pretty sure if Scania came to America, which they have been thinking about it, um, uh, literally, literally, I don't know why YouTube is not sending out, why I'm not getting the chat lines from YouTube in any way, shape, or form. Um, but one of the things that I will tell you that I love about video gaming and video games just in general with this, I just love to be able to just relax, to be honest. And people who glass will say, "Oh, this thing is so boring." I said, "How is it boring? If you're gonna sit down and listen to something, or you're gonna sit down and actually, like listen to something, already, you might as well just get in and drive." And to be honest, um, that's what I did last night. It's just an example of what you can do. Like, I sat there and listened to the People's State of the Union last night and live streamed. I probably shouldn't be doing that, but that's what you can do, is just listen to a podcast or listen to something in the background, like Destination Linux or Laura Hero Podcast, or have Only in Japan go sometimes when you want to hear something, or have your whatever, have Midas Touch in the background, have something that you can listen to, like David Pakman, and some other things. And just as an example, like, you can choose whoever you want to put into your background, um, and listen and do things. It's just like driving in America, just like normal driving. I can't drive normally, so I just am settling with this game to be able to do it. Um, and stuff. So, but you know, with a lot of these things, last night I basically watched the People's State of the Union over the Trump State of the Union. Okay, over his State of the Union. Now, the reason why I listened to the other one is because I did not want to listen to him. I don't listen to Trump much anymore because of the every time I listen to him, I feel like I can't listen. I can't listen to him because it just there's something inherently that just makes me feel like I shouldn't be watching it, to be honest. And so I don't. That's why I don't watch him. That's why I watch Midas over him, because Midas is at least trying to touch on the things that need to be touched upon, you know? And so I watched that last night instead of watching the State of the Union. Now, if you wanted to watch the State of the Union, go watch Brian Tyler Cohen's State of the Union viewing, and help a progressive out instead of a thing. But um, but from what I've been hearing from the State of the Union was that there were Democrats there. It's not like every Democrat wasn't there, um, but there were some things within that kind of got me like, why? Why are you um hating on these people that are going after you? It's like, yeah, you can be be a little bit frustrated about having the uh, Ian Omar basically calling on Trump for outing Americans, getting rid of Americans, basically, and that's truth, okay? But it's like, why go after a five year old in a blue hat? Why go after these children, separating them from their families? Why are you making these people feel ill, feel sick, feel wrong? Why don't you just deport them back to their home country and not just and just take the plane and just deport them back to their home country? But no, they're not doing that. They're not even doing that at all. They're sending them to these detention camps in America instead of sending them back to their home country. Now, of course, they're going to find a way to come back to this country, but guess what? I would rather you send them back to their home country over and over than sending them back, than having them come to this country. Would be a little bit better ideal, but in then, I would rather, but they're not even doing that with illegals. They're doing that with American citizens. They're putting Americans in these places that basically disagree with their politics, disagree with who they are, and are in no way, shape, or form good people. And things like that. I'm not somebody that agrees with the right on every stinking issue. I do not agree with the right now. It doesn't matter. Like I am also a left-leaning person, primarily fully left. I don't care. I am, with exception of a couple of things that would kind of basically put me into a moderate Democrat, but I am not in any way, shape, or form a moderate Democrat. Because a lot of the things that the Republicans are believing in right now are not what I initially was like. Okay, I started believing in this way, but then what about the left? What about the other side? What are they saying? And that's kind of how I ended up. Now I am just a left-leaning person rather than the right now, because unfortunately, with a lot of these things, basically, guns, I'm basically like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna follow the law, whatever, but even if I was a gun owner, I'd still follow the law, I'd still follow these things, because I'm not gonna care about whether or not your law, or whether or not it takes away my Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, to me, does not tell you which gun you can and cannot have. And it does not say it, it just says that you have a right. It doesn't, it's basically dwindling down to removing you down to having a single weapon is basically fine by me. But at the same time, I'm also kind of, right now, not agreeing with it, because at the same time, we need something to be able to have the ability to fight back if we need to. And that's the thing where I don't agree with people removing guns and out of the equation. They're trying to, if you get rid of it, then what are you going to do in case of somebody, a lot of these things, and I'm so it's one of those things, but at least, you know what, it's whatever. I'm not somebody that's really knowledgeable on a lot of the guns issue stuff, and to be honest, they're wanting to get rid of the AK-47s, the AR-15s in the state of Minnesota. Okay, whatever. Making sure that there's better safety and things like that. Okay, fine. That's a good thing. That's actually a dedicated thing that is fantastic. But I will also tell you that that if you live, that for me, like, it's whatever it is, it's gonna be, if they get rid of it, they get rid of these guns. I don't care. I'm not a somebody that's gonna basically say, look, like I said, I go both ways. I go either way. I because maybe the thing is there, but at the at this thing, we need to also make better on the amountable of mental help. A lot of people need more mental services and more mental help than removing certain things, because removing a gun does not solve the issue completely. Yes, it will solve the issue for a lot of things, but that's not going to solve the issue um, on every issue within um, um, with the everyday issue of somebody still having that mental problem. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you are whatever identity you have. Doesn't matter if you're right. Doesn't matter if you're left. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, trans, whatever. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. You have a mental problem. You need to get some help, and that's what needs to be done in this country, instead of and making sure that we have more mental health services. You know, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be minding if we had a tax on guns. I don't care on that if the tax on guns goes straight to medical help and mental health, and making sure that that's being taken care of. To be honest, like I don't care like that. I'm not against um trying to solve something and trying to get help, make sure that people get help. But the biggest one is I would rather have more taxes from the rich than what they are getting now. You know, having if somebody's has um $1,000 makes billions of dollars, should be paying um okay. Now, we know that we are needing to head to Toledo. Now, of course, um, to Toledo. Now, of course, I am going to have to. I feel like. Hold on. Okay, I feel like. Um, um, okay. So let me go. We can use photo mode. I like to use photo mode because I want to be able. Okay, so it looks like I could go back and go that way, because it does not look like um it does not look like I have any issues. So I will do that. So but I'm also somebody that does not believe in the death penalty, unless I'm somebody that that we should not be giving the death penalty to certain people, like in Tennessee, who end up having to get an abortion because of X, Y, or Z. They want to punish that portion, and of course, then why don't you do it for? Then why don't you get the death penalty um for the um for people who go after kids in an adult, in a manner that should only be done by adults. You know, at age 12 we should be, and there are places that are doing that. To be honest, like, but it's one of those things that if you are of the mindset that you um, want to harm people for that, then why are you going, first off? um, uh, but then also you're going after women for that because your morals, and you're only picking because you want to stand on your morals when it's wrong for you to get it within your religion. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. That's your religion. You learn to to follow your religion. You don't push your agenda on somebody else by not only um, by removing marriage equality. Idaho literally had said that they want to remove marriage equality for um, for same-sex couples. They're literally calling on on that, and it's like, okay, but your religion is your religion. You don't push, because if you're really wanting to push and get rid of gay marriage, then maybe I should start pushing and getting rid of your alcohol. But then that's not going to get through because so many people use alcohol on a daily basis, but yet they um, like a lot of these Republicans want don't want to say that they want to protect children and protect the life of that child. Then why don't we ban alcohol? Then why don't we ban the cigarettes? Why don't we ban those substances? Because it's so prevalent that they make money off of these companies, and these companies do um and they have some embedded um things within these places. Like, that's kind of why um these places are why I'm like, okay, so then and then some of these people are basically just really there for the money. Some I feel like that they're not willing and wanting to do it. They're just there to get the money from these people, making sure that that our prisons are for profit here in America, and they shouldn't be. Um, there's a lot of things that should not be for profit in America that are. Um, drugs, um, not only drugs, but um, medical care, um, are a lot of these things are for profit and are there to make money. Now, of course, it's okay to make money, but it's not okay when you are making millions upon millions of dollars, and you basically like you made more money this year than you did last year, but then you're also continuing to make more money year over year. Then it's time to maybe you need to cut down on your prices of these drugs and these things, because they're not doing things. It's like a lot of these places need to stop pushing money and make these things less. Instead of, we shouldn't be tariffing on necessities. Trump basically is tariffing on our food, making things more expensive. Um, you know, like I will tell you, like, I was watching a video where you can go to Japan and $300 a month, uh, in a one-bedroom apartment with all the some of the best amenities for a one-bedroom apartment, where $300 is chump change for a lot of people. If you're like me, like, that's nothing. But then again, how is their economy? What is their place like? Like, yes, it may seem cheaper rent a place for $300 a month. But some of those places in Japan do not let foreigners rent homes there. Um, and I understand why. Like a lot of us Westerners who want to move or live there, it takes a lot of um, it takes a lot of things to make uh, the affordability and the affordability of things through it all. Um, for us, but for them, it's basically they want to make sure that uh, that we are basically here. We're loudy, rowdy. Um, we always like to party hard. We always like to do things like that, and that's the truth. But at the same time, it's like we need to learn to be quieter over there. They're more of a less risk taker country than the rest of the world. Um, in some of the rest of some of these other countries, like the United States, we take a lot of risks, and a lot of those risks end up falling apart. Part, and so we're having a lot of these things pretty much out there, not really um, uh, not wanting to change or help people um, within America. You know, it's one of those things that here in America we tend to be more corporate, or I don't know, we tend to do a lot of things weirdly in America. It's like I there's a lot of things that in America that I don't like that we do right now. Um, a lot, but at the same time, it's like yeah, but we also have longer wait times. But then you look at the longer wait times for a lot of these countries. Well, the only reason why um why, for example, Canada has longer wait times is because, for one, um, uh, is they just don't have enough people to work into working into their countries, and having enough people to support that way of thinking. Okay, and so it's basically it's like a lot of these countries do not have the resources to be able to support a lot of the country these countries' infrastructure um because one, like I said, with the medical care, they don't have enough people to. You'll have long wait times, but that doesn't mean that everything's going to be long wait time. It just means some things are going to be longer wait because they don't have the resources or the necessity to um, be able to. And that's for $1 for 100,000 or $100. Um, it's like, why would I go and do things like that? But Did I miss anything in our title? Hopefully. Um, you know, and they have a lot of things they're changing within the state for a lot of more red flag laws and things that are hopefully maybe they might help. We don't know. Um, Never hurts to try something. Um, and things like that. But I will tell you this. For any of you, I'm currently watching. Make sure you guys hit that follow. Um, Make sure you guys hit that subscribe today. I know a lot of it today was just messing around with some mods and stuff. Um, and getting trucks built and situated for certain things. So, I will tell you this: if you guys want to see a lot of the content from me, a LGBTQ kind of truck streamer, a trans person, if you want to see a lot of that content, you guys can always come back every day, um, where we play a lot of American truck, a lot of Euro truck, a lot of um, uh, video games, pretty much, basically. Um, so if you guys want to um, see that, that's a great way to be followed, subscribed, and if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we will catch you guys later. I'm going to go get some food, and then I will probably, for those of you here, I might get food. Um, for those of you here, I will probably um, um, uh, I'll be back here on Trovo in about an hour um, or two, because you know I gotta do dishes too. So we'll see. Um, I'll be back in about an hour or so. So anyway, I will catch you guys then. Bye.